What's going on, y'all? We're back for another video on the channel, and today we have the February TBR. With the first of every month, I like to put out my to be read so that everyone knows what my reading goals are for the month and that you can hold me accountable at the end of the month when I do my wrap up. So like I said, today we got February, and I'm going to dive right in. Also, just a little disclaimer, I don't really put these in order. These are just the things that I want to get to read this month. Sometimes I don't hit the mark, and sometimes I go beyond the mark. So we never know what's going to happen until it happens. So like I said, these first three books are essentially locks. It doesn't matter if that's all I read. These are going to be the first three books I read this month. After that, the next few are just, if I get to them, great. If I don't, then they'll just go on another month. So first off, we have Before They're Hanged, which is book 2 of the First Law trilogy by Mr. Joe Abercrombie. And like I said, I read the first book in January, and I just fell in love with the universe. I fell in love with the characters, and it was something I couldn't wait to get back into. So had to make it my number one priority for this month. So like I said, this is going to be the first one I read. I got 20 or so pages into it this morning before work. So I said, yin yang, you know, that's how it goes. But this is definitely going to be something that I can't wait to get into. And honestly, depending on how this one goes, I might have to change my TBR up and add the third one at the end of this month. Or maybe early next month. We'll see. Number 2 is another book 2. It's book 2 of the Faithful and the Fallen series by Mr. John Gwynne, Valor. So, like I said, this is another one that I read book 1 in January and just fell in love with the Banished Lands and just the classic fantasy tropes that he took on and just leaned into and revitalized them and put them in a sense that I have not seen them. Like I said, it's the way the first book ended. It was something that I knew I had to get back to quick, and it was just something I was super excited to get to. So this is going to be my number 2 priority for the month. And number 3 priority is going to be the Witcher books. Like I said, I tried to buy them because I was originally planning on reading them in January, reading at least one of them. But obviously with The Witcher Season 2 coming out in the middle of December, everybody bought them. I couldn't find them anywhere for like a reasonable price, like physical copies of the book. So near the middle of January, I got tired of looking because a lot of them were on back order. They jacked up the price. So I was like, man, I ain't doing this. So I went ahead and bought the rest of the Witcher books digitally. So like I said, I'm going to be visiting Sword of Destiny, which is the second short story collection before starting the mainline series. So that's going to be my third read for the month and my 3 locks. Like, they're getting done. Don't matter come hell or high water. These 3 are getting read. Now, the next ones. This is, like I said, I'm going to spice it up. Have a little bit of mainly sci-fi, fantasy, horror. Those type books are my next 4. But you never know. Like I said, there's quite a bit of variety. I'll be starting some new series, starting some new universes, and revisiting one old one, and I have one standalone. So first is book 1 of the Dresden Files, and that's Stormfront. This is one I've heard a lot about, Mr. Harry Dresden. I've heard it's a big series. I think it's 17 books out right now, which is crazy. But I've heard they're like nice little digestible books that kind of morph into something bigger than just being like a crime novel. So, which is, I think would be a lot of fun. Something, nice little palate cleanser, something easy, something that I don't have to put a lot of work into, as opposed to these 3 like heavy fantasy novels to start the month. After that, I'm going to revisit Mr. Frank Herbert's Dune universe with Dune Messiah, which is the second book in the Atreides saga. I don't know if that's what it's actually called, but I know the first 3 books, so Dune, Dune Messiah, and Children of Dune, are all about the Atreides family. So, like I said, I'm excited to revisit this one. This was something I wanted to read in December, but I just got busy with the holidays and everything. So, that's something I'm hoping to visit this month. Next, we got Mr. Pierce Brown's Red Rising, book 1 of the Red Rising series. I don't know if it has a whole, like, a different series name, but I've heard great things about this. It's supposed to be a pretty big sci-fi series, and it's a cool concept. So there's like socioeconomic classes based on your collar. So like I think red is like bottom level, like those are your like miners, your like hard laborers, and they think so the reds, as they call them, think that Earth is uninhabitable, and they're mining so hard trying to make sure that to get resources from Mars to make sure that it is habitable and to kind of save it. They find out that they've been lied to by a group of like elites called the Golds, and it's about a revolution from the Reds and kind of ascending that socio-economic status, I guess, which is really cool. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And last, this will be a new author. I've never read any of his works, but I've heard great things about him, especially as a horror writer, and that is Nick Cutter's The Deep. You know, for me, I have a fear of open water and what lies deep in the ocean, so I'm sure this is going to be something that's going to make me squirm and feel very uncomfortable as we're going through it. So, I said there's a plague that is like destroying humanity, essentially. There's no cure for it, and it's called the Gits, and it's making people forget things. And they find that there is a deep sea thing, I'm not exactly sure what it is, they just call it ambrosia, that is actually can heal this disease. So they set up like a deep sea station that's like 8 miles underwater or something like that, and it goes dark. There's nothing coming from it. And then so they have to send a crew to go find out what has happened. So they're going deep underwater, and I've heard there's a lot of like just deep water horror and like kind of that the mystery of the unknown of what's going on at the bottom of the ocean. I'm sure there's some probably Lovecraftian beast or something, if I had to guess. But that is going to be my TBR for February. Fingers crossed I can knock it all out. Also, I'll probably be checking out the Fable comics. You know, the iconic fairy tale spin comics. So that's something I'm excited to check out. Probably do that and Invincible. Maybe, I don't know. I've thought about The Boys lately too, or The Walking Dead. Try mixing those in there. I don't know. We'll see. It's one of those things that's kind of a new territory for me, so I'm still mapping out where I want to go there and what I want to read next. But that's my TBR for the month. I'm looking forward to diving into all of these and telling you what I think about them. So like I said, let me know what you guys are reading this month. Let me know how you're feeling about what you're reading. Let me know what you've just finished. So anything like that, let me know down below. And until next time, stay reading, y'all.